Welcome back to Grafting Dragon Fruit. It's Richard, and in this video I'm going to be reorganizing parts of my garden and experimenting with some new products to get ready for the upcoming season. Be sure to watch all the way to the end so that way you won't miss a single thing. And before we start, I just want to let you know that I started a comprehensive dragon fruit course to teach and help you grow dragon fruit successfully. You'll learn everything you need to know to grow, care for, and harvest dragon fruit from A to Z. Whether you're just starting out or have been growing for a while, this course is great and open for all levels. We'll dive into each step from the basics of dragon fruits and move into more advanced topics like grafting, building trellises, or maximizing your harvest. I'll personally guide you and answer any questions you may have on your journey. There's going to be monthly live calls, unlimited support, lifetime updates, and many more. Join now at the link in the description and let's get started on your dragon fruit journey. I got this PVC insulated greenhouse on TEMU and I thought it looked really interesting. I also got this greenhouse a while back and it's been working so well. It hasn't been catching any of the cactus rust or any of the damage that usually would come during the winter because it's so cold. So I've been looking to add another greenhouse to continue to experiment for you guys. So I got this greenhouse on TEMU for about $39, and I also got this gardening pad for about $6. And I thought that was really cool because I'm always on my knees tending to my garden, like potting plants or just cutting any of the offshoots that would come during the spring. So now I get to tend to my garden in my backyard without the aching knees. All right, so let's go ahead and put this together so I can show you guys what it looks like and what I plan to use it for. Download the TEMU app using my link in the description box or scan this QR code on the screen and enter DVP8258 in the app search bar. You can get a $100 coupon bundle for free and get some of my items with amazing discounts. You can explore all the available discounts and find corresponding discounted prices and QR code here on your computer. This coupon bundle must be used within 24 hours of redemption, so if you see your favorite products, be sure to make your purchases before the offer expires. I'm finished putting together the PVC insulated greenhouse, and this is what it looks like after it's all put together. As you can see here, it's not as big as my other greenhouse, and this is more for a portable situation. If you don't have a lot of room or during the winter time you just want to take it out to put some of your plants in here or starting out new cuttings, then this is a great greenhouse to have. And the cool thing about it is you can also take it apart once you're done using it for the summertime, and then once winter comes back around, you can go ahead and put it together and use it for those colder climates, because this will insulate your plants and keep it from frosting or even getting damaged from rust or cold damage once it gets too cold from winter. So this is how it works, you guys. I just put all the PVC together. I was able to just shift it in, and the tent here just kind of went right over it, and these zippers here are how you can open and close it. The cool thing too is it has vents, so you guys, if you guys think it's too hot, you can open these vents here and it can help ventilate your greenhouse, and there's two of them on each side. So it's a bit cold still here. We're almost at springtime, so I'm going to keep it closed. I'm going to see how it does first without the vents open, but if I feel like I need to open the vents, then I'll definitely go ahead and come out here and do that. So I plan on getting all of these cuttings that I've been rooting indoors in this bucket in water here. And I just want to make sure once I plant these into soil and bring them outside that they're not getting a shock from the shift from indoors to outdoors. So what I'm going to do is plant all of these finally into some soil and put it into this greenhouse and slowly acclimate them to outdoors. And once it gets a little warmer, I can fully take them out and then have them just thrive in the conditions that's going to be a lot warmer during the springtime, and that's when dragon fruit grows the best. And as you can see here, I have enough room for about probably, I want to say 8 to 10 1-gallon pots. And if you're using a little bit smaller pots, then I feel like you're going to fit at least another half or double more in there. And it's pretty lightweight. I like that it's very easy to move. So if it doesn't like this area here, I can always bring it to another area. Not like my big one here where it's fixed into this one area. But I feel like this area has been doing really good because all of my cuttings in this greenhouse has been thriving so well. All right, guys. Now that we're finished with the greenhouse, I can finally move on to the next step, and it's repotting all of these rooted cuttings into pots with some soil and some other cool stuff that I got from TEMU that's going to help me with, moving all these cuttings into this greenhouse is this repotting planting mat here. The cool thing about it is I used to just, plant my cuttings in the soil and it kind of just falls out. And this is really cost efficient, you guys. This was only $5 on TEMU. And if any soil falls out here, I can just shift it back into the corner and reuse them. Before, when I was just doing it on dirt like this, I would lose some of that soil. And I feel like that's kind of a waste. You know, I want to use everything I bought and not waste any of it to be as efficient as I can and just have more of my supplies available so that way I can continue to use it for other cuttings, because I'm always rooting cuttings and I'm always repotting and, you know, doing stuff with dragon fruit. So this repotting planting mat was really cool. And it's also foldable. You can unfold it and, you know, fold it away and put it away once you guys don't need it. And once you're ready, you just clip these buttons in and they will just kind of fold back up for you guys ready to use. And I was saying, I'm always repotting and planting new cuttings to get them started with rooting. So I like to have all of these pots always available because I do go through them a lot. So here is a 4-inch one and I got them by the hundreds. So I got 100 of the 4-inch one here for about $13. I got the 5-inch one here. This is also another 100 for $18. And this is the 6-inch one, also another 100 of them for about $22. And these ones are about the 1-gallon pots, which are perfect for planting and rooting out new cuttings. So these are the ones I'm going to use today for these more bigger cuttings, because once you have bigger cuttings, they will fall over if you use them, if the pot is too narrow at the bottom of the base. So you want something with a big base. So once they do grow, because cuttings get heavy once they fill up with water, and they really grow fast during the springtime. So make sure you guys have a good base. And these 1-gallon ones are perfect. And I have so many of them, so I don't have to worry about running out now. So it's really great to get them. And TEMU shipped them so quick. So now I have about 300 different types of containers, all different sizes. So they're very versatile to use. Okay, I got some bamboo sticks here. These ones are really hard to cut. So I have these shears here that I also got from TEMU, and this was about $8. And they're gonna be perfect for me to cut them into the length that I need, so that way I can plant them with my cuttings. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this to cut. And that cut very nicely. So I want them to be about the same size as the cutting or just a little bit over to make it work. And let's go ahead and start planting them. I have this Cherry Gushers variety here. This is an Asunta 7, hybridized by Edgar Valdivia, and it's one of the seedlings that I grew for him, and I named it Cherry Gushers because of how sweet it is, just like candy. The brick score on this was very close to 25%. The last time I measured it, I think it was about 24.7 or somewhere around that brick score. So very, very sweet and very nice tasting variety. So I definitely had to get this growing for this season so I can get way more fruits of it. And let's go. So I've been rooting them in water, so they've been growing some roots here, and it's all been indoors. So that's why I'm finally taking them out. That's starting to get a little bit warmer, and then I'm going to acclimate them in this greenhouse that I have here. But let me go get some soil and then put it in here so we can start planting all these cuttings. So you guys saw me, I already cut some of the bamboo sticks here with my shears and made a really nice clean cut. It doesn't rupture it like some of my other shears does. And now I'm just going to measure how big I would need it. Okay, so that one's pretty good. Perfect. You don't want it too long. Just a little bit over is perfect. So I always put the biggest side, so this is the thicker side down. And you want to plant about only 1 inch in there. If it's a bit too deep, sometimes it gets cold and the flesh can get too cold and it can like do some frost damage, or not frost damage, but damage to it. And they eventually will get some rot, and then the flesh will kind of just melt off, and you don't want that. You already waited so long during the winter time to get them to root, so make sure you guys plant them correctly, so that way you guys get a head start once spring is here. So make sure you're gentle with putting the roots down. And I think I like that there. It's about 1 inch deep. And then you pack the dirt down, making sure that you get it nice and tucked in there, because these are heavy. Once it moves, it can really flip over and get tossed and tumble, and all of the cuttings will fall right out, and then that's not what you want. I have some garden tape here. Go ahead now and tie it, making sure you get it really tight. Okay. I want to do probably just one more. a little lower, just like that. That should be good. So you want to make sure you continue to pack down once you have it in there. And once it looks good like this, then you are ready to go ahead and put it into your greenhouse. So this, also when you're cutting this bamboo stick, you want to make sure that it's not taller than this. So I got to keep in mind to keep it about this length, so that way it can actually fit in the greenhouse. So now I can just put it in the corner, just like that. And I have one in there ready to start acclimating and then getting ready to acclimate into the outdoors. So once I'm done, I will water this. And once I water it, then I will close it to make sure that everything is nice and insulated. So let's go ahead and just finish potting up all of these other cuttings. And then once I have all these cuttings potted, we will move on to closing them and getting them ready to acclimate. So now I'm just gonna speed things up and just get more pots ready, fill them all up with soil, and then that way I can just plant them all at once and tie them all at once. Some other varieties I have in here are sour applehead. I have one called Pink OG, another one called Sin Espina, and I think those are the only varieties that I have rooting in here. So rooting in water is something I commonly do during the winter time because it's just way too cold outside, and it's really difficult to get them to root outside during the winter time. They don't do anything. During winter time, they just hibernate, they go to sleep, and they won't have any growth unless there's some heat stimulation. So if you guys are trying to root them indoors, I highly recommend using a heat mat. Put them in a bucket like this, a vase, or even a cup. And then make sure you guys monitor every day because the water does evaporate with the heat mat under. But once you have that heat mat under, you guys will have roots within a week. Keep them indoors until they are ready to come outside. And during the winter time, it rains so much and it gets so cold during the night, you don't want to take them out yet anyways. So make sure during the winter time you keep it in there. And then around February or March, once it gets a little warmer, then you guys can go ahead and take them out and then, get them ready to be outside. Okay guys, now I'm just gonna start filling all these up, planting all these cuttings, and then we'll get them all in this greenhouse. So you guys saw how quickly I can use up 10 pots just like that, very fast. So having a lot of them on hand is great because those were the only 10 that I have in that pot starting to root. As you guys can see, I ran out of pots eventually, and I just used the 20-gallon behind me here to go ahead and just keep rooting all of the other cuttings I have, because I do plan to sell and list cuttings on my website. So that's why I'm just getting all these cuttings rooted and ready. So once you guys get them, they're already rooted, they're plumped, and you don't have to root them at all. So that's why I have all of these pots ready to root cuttings. Should be enough to pot the rest of the cuttings. And you guys can see how cool this mat is here. It's keeping everything nice and neat in here. If any soil falls out, I can just scoop it back up and throw it right back into the pot. Now I need 10 bamboo sticks, and as you guys can see, I don't want them too tall. So now I gotta cut them to make them at the length that I need them to be. These shears are great at doing that. Look at that. Cuts so nice and easy. I also love that these shears here has a pad, so when I'm squeezing really hard, it doesn't hurt my hand as much. There's some padding to it, makes it nice and easy. Next step is just getting all of these sticks in. Make sure you have the bigger base at the bottom. Now let's go ahead and just start planting them. Here's the Pink OG that I was just talking about. This one is a variety grown from my friend named Greg. He's had this plant for the longest time, and it's a really good self-fertile variety. Very sweet. The brick scores go up to about 20 bricks. Self-fertile, and it's pink flesh. Amazing fruit. Probably one of the best self-fertiles I've tasted in a very long time. So I told him I had to get some cuttings to start a mother pot of my own here. And the roots here on this one has been rooting very well. You can see it's very long. So make sure I want to get all of those roots into the soil. And as you can see, they'll start to tumble. And if that happens, go ahead and just pack it down And if you're afraid that it might fall over as you're working on the other one, just go ahead and tie it real quick. And that's what I'm gonna do with this one because it's a larger cutting. I feel like it might flip over if I accidentally bump into it. How's that? Okay, so that's good. And then we're just gonna keep on going. This is sour applehead, a new variety of mine that I did a cross with. I believe this was Asunto 4 cross with Red Laverne. Very cool variety, beautiful flower. Flesh is white, but it tastes like a sweet sour applehead candy. So this one has been making waves, and I only had one person really try it, Alan. He's my soil expert. I also brought it to my dragon fruit event, and some people got to try it and was really shocked of how that one tasted. So that's really cool. So this one hasn't really rooted yet, and this is also another pink OG. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plant it because it's been sitting in water for so long already. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it into soil, and if it does root, then it's just ready because it's getting warmer. I'm confident of leaving it in this greenhouse. Another pink OG, some nice roots. I'm gonna go ahead and plant it right here. And when I plant them, I like to use the flat side to go towards the bamboo stick here because it just rests. It rests itself a little bit evenly like that, so it doesn't really topple over. Sin Espina, red flesh, self-fertile, and the cool thing about this variety is it has no thorns, you guys. So these cuttings here, it doesn't have any thorns, as you can see, and the thorns are always cutting me. Earlier, I was just handling some of them, and you can see that I got cut right there. Yeah. So if you guys are afraid of getting cut by those thorns, I actually also got this on TEMU for about $8 here. I should have worn this earlier when I was, moving the cuttings around, but this helps you from getting, cut from all those thorns once you're handling dragon fruit. So it's getting to that point where I have to kind of go through this, so might as well just throw this on because I already got cut. I don't want to get any more. My wife's gonna ask me, what am I doing out there? So gotta make sure I protect my hands. Another Sin Espina. Look how long that root is, you guys. For something like this, I want to make sure that I dig deep enough to get this roots to go down. So you still want to plant about 1 inch in, but also deep enough to get that roots into the soil. So I'm just putting the soil deep with the roots, and then the cutting is still going to be pretty predominant right out there. Another Sin Espina. Small roots. So I don't need to dig too deep, still planting about 1 inch deep. Okay, we got a few left. Some sour applehead, cherry gushers, and another cherry gushers that this one, some critter got to it, but as you can see, it healed. It's still gonna grow fine. And I'm gonna use this one actually for the small cutting. So just like that. This one, very small roots, but we have a root. As long as it has one root, you guys, it's gonna start growing really quickly. The hardest part is just getting the roots to pop. But once the roots do grow, just like that little one right there, they're gonna start really taking off here. So pay attention to that. Oh, and that's what I mean by they will fall over. So once they're a little too tall, that does happen. Gotta just be careful and tie that one right away. I just gotta pack the soil a little bit more. And then here we go, our last cutting, sour applehead. Perfect. All right, I do have one last cutting here. This one is also a Sin Espina. I'm gonna go ahead and just plant into the smaller pot that I have here because this will be perfect for it. It's perfect because I have this one last stick here that's really tiny. And that's why I have variety of sizes of pots, because I don't want to use too big of a pot for a small cutting like this. but I do want it to thrive, so I want to get into some soil still. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm ready to just tie them all, and then we're going to go ahead and transfer it in there. There is one that's a little concerning to me, is this one. It does look a little too tall for me to fit in there, so I'm going to try to just put that one in my bigger greenhouse. So that's why it's good that I have both greenhouses. So just in case if one doesn't fit, then I can just go ahead and put it, and you know, switch them over. I have some small ones in there that I can probably fit in here, so we can exchange them. I'm gonna just go ahead and pre-cut all of these garden tape and then tie them up. All right, we're almost to the last step. And as you can see, this garden mat here has been helping me so much. I was on my knees this whole time, and if I didn't have that there, my knees would be aching right now from the soil and the hard ground. So this is a really big helper for me. I love it. I'm probably gonna be using this a lot, so you're gonna be starting seeing me kneeling on this every time to save my knees. Got kids now, so I need my knees to be as healthy as can be. Okay, I'm just gonna start moving some of these that I know that are good already. And go ahead and put them into the greenhouse. Right there. And this one is the taller one, so I'll go ahead and put it over there and I'll switch them around. This one also, let's see. We might be able to fit this one, let's see. Okay, we barely have a fit, but it does fit in there, you guys, so that's cool. Okay, the last step, you guys, is just to water it. Just want to do a light watering. Nothing too crazy. Just to get the soil. The roots hasn't fully developed yet, so there's not going to be a lot of water needed, but we just want something in there because it's been sitting in water all winter, so it's used to having just water on its roots, but they thrive way better in soil. So I highly recommend, once they root, to go ahead and put them into soil right away, you guys. They will benefit way more from having them in soil because there's actual nutrients in there and they will grow a lot better. As you can see, I've put about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 pots in here, 1 gallon size, and I have room for probably about another 2 1-gallons, and then maybe these smaller pots, I can just line them up in the front here, so we can probably fit about maybe 16, yeah, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pots in here. So really good to get yourself about 4 trellis started here, because I do 4 cuttings per pot. So this is a really good one to go ahead and just set up your cuttings to get them rooted, acclimated, and then get your permanent pots ready once the weather starts. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this up. Keep them nice and happy in here. And it zips up very easily once you get it all fitted in here. And because I just water them, I'm gonna leave it cracked open a little bit here. So that way, most of the water can evaporate. I don't want it to be too much water just sitting in there. So we're gonna let some of that water evaporate. And by the end of the day, I'll probably come back and close it completely before the night ends, okay guys? All right, so I have some other cool stuff to show you guys. We're gonna go across the garden, have some fruits to harvest, and then what I plan to show you with those fruits. So let's go ahead and go over there. Can't believe my sugar dragon's fruits are finally ripe. These fruits were actually some flowers that bloom at the end of the season, and I pollinated them, and it took a long time for them to ripe because during the winter time it's just way too cold. They need some sun and heat for them to start to change the color and actually ripe. So now that we're in February, they are finally ripe and ready for harvest. As you can see here, the fruits look more than ready, and I have about 3 of them to harvest today. And I want to show you guys something cool that I'm going to use with these fruits, and it's such perfect timing because I've always wanted it and I finally got it. So I'm gonna use the shears that I got here and cut them with ease. So there's about 3 of them. That's 1, This one's a little bit smaller, but you know, sugar dragons are about these size, but they pack a lot of flavor. And I have one back here. Let me just get in there without getting poked. That's the hardest part. I gotta go under. Oh, there it goes. Okay guys, we got 3 sugar dragons. As you can see, they're all at different colors. This one's probably the most ripe because look at that skin color. The other one is almost there, still a little bit green on them, but I like to harvest them when there's still a little bit of green because it has more acidity and it just has more complex flavor at that stage. So here I have some pretty cool scales that I've always been wanting. This one is a fruit scale. And the cool thing about this fruit scale is, you know, people always ask me, Richard, do you sell your fruits? And before, I did not sell my fruits because I felt like it was just something that I wasn't at that level of yet. But now that I have this fruit scale, I can probably start offering that to you guys because when growing dragon fruit, I always prefer people to try the fruit first so they know how it tastes. And if you like that fruit, then it's worth growing. So that way you're not growing them and then tasting the fruit to find out you don't like them. So in the future, I like to offer fruits from my garden for sale. So that way you can try the variety first. And then once you get to try them and if you like them, then you can get the cuttings and actually grow them so you can be confident of what you're getting. The cool thing about this scale is I got this on TEMU as well for about $22. And now I can put the price of what I want to sell them for. So dragon fruits typically go for about $4 to $5. So let's just do $4.99. And let's see how much this little sugar dragon here would cost. So it's about a quarter pound and it will cost you about $1.20 for this fruit here. And if we were to add all of these ones, all of these sugar dragons here, it's about half a pound. So you get 3 sugar dragons for about $2.70. I've always wanted a fruit scale. I don't know why I don't have one yet, but now that I found one on TEMU, it was perfect timing for me to get them. So I can finally weigh my fruits, see what the sizes are, and if I do want to sell them, I can have them inputted in here and can does all the calculations for me. So that is great, you guys. So that's really cool to have. Another cool scale that I got, and this is also something that I've always had trouble with. Let me just move it in front of you guys. This scale here has the digital numbers here on the side. And the cool thing about this one is, and I got this one on TEMU as well, there's no batteries in it. But as you guys can see, it's powered on. And that's because it's USB charged. So if you guys want to put batteries in here, you guys can. But if you guys want to just charge it before use, you can also do that as well. And you can tear it so then it can balance out to 0. Also, you guys can change out the metrics. It can be ounces, pounds, or kilograms. And I'm here in the United States, so I use pounds a lot. So the number one reason I got this was when I was selling cuttings and I would pack them into the boxes would be so big and long. I used 2 boxes, so they're very large. And when I would put them on the scale, sometimes it covers the numbers and I can't see them. So I have to tear and stand them up this way. And that was always been a challenge for me. So something like this, I have Pink Panther cutting, like a cutting like this. Look how big this is, you guys. It doesn't like just fit onto a food scale correctly. And sometimes it blocks the numbers when I have it in the box and try to scale it. But now that I have this scale here, I can put it right on here. And if I want to see how much it weighs, it's just shown on this digital number here on this one here. So this is about 1 pound. So, yep, 1 pound. This cutting here is about 1 pound. So once I put it into the box, and sometimes when I ship them out, it asks you for the number of weight. So that way it knows what postage to charge you to send them out. So this is gonna make it a lot easier and faster for me to just start shipping cuttings. So I have a website and you guys, you know, probably been waiting for cuttings and you'll probably see more of that available now because I have all these tools to make it more efficient for me. I have these Pixie Sky cuttings here that's just been, you know, callousing. I cut them to get them to callus, and when they're callus like this, they're ready to go. So let's just go ahead and weigh that. So we have 0.72 pounds here. You can also put it into ounces. Let's go. I'll do ounces. So 11.5 ounces. That's what they usually ask you when you put in the postage. And I can put multiple cuttings now if I need to. If I need to put multiple cuttings into a box, then I can go ahead and do that. So this is 4 Pixie Sky cuttings, and we have it at 37 ounces. And if I want to know the pounds, I can go ahead and just push this button here. I'll change the metrics. It's about 2.35 pounds. So this scale here is amazing. I have everything now in my arsenal to make my life a lot easier with growing dragon fruit, selling cuttings. So it's really, really amazing, you guys. Can't wait to go ahead and you know, get all of these going and actually start using them, because that's really cool. And here's another Jurassic guava cutting, another variety that I grew from seedling, a creation of mine. This was a Asunta 4 crossed with Asunta 5. Also very nice variety. I named it Jurassic Guava because the skin of it looks like dinosaur skin, and inside it looks like a pink guava color. So really cool. So it's really awesome. Look at how many cuttings I was able to fit on the scale. I would normally not be able to do that with a food scale. So gotta have the right tools to make my life more efficient, you guys. All right, two last things I need to show you guys before we end this video is, let me go grab it. It's gonna be really awesome. And here it is, you guys. So this here is going to be helping me organize all of these seedlings that I've been crossing with. These are hybridized seeds that I've been crossing throughout the years of dragon fruit I've been growing. And as you can see, I put them into these containers here, and it can be a waste of space, right? I wanted to find something that would help me organize my seeds a lot better and just more space for me to keep more seeds, because if I have a lot of these, then eventually I won't even know where to store them. I started putting them in a lot of random places, and I would forget sometimes too where I put them, and I would find them later. So this here, I got this 3-tier, about 250 pieces that comes with it. This is going to help me organize my seeds, you guys. So this is 1 tier here, and I got this for about $40. So you can get different tiers. You can get 1 tier for about $10. You can get 2 tiers for about $20. I'm not sure what the prices are, but I'll put them on here so you guys can know. But underneath here, there's another tier. So this, I got the 3 tier because I plan to have multiple seeds that are going to be stored into these containers. And it comes with labels, it comes with seed packets. So if you want to send them out, or you want to start sharing your seeds, you can just put them here and then, you know, ship them to people. And that's something I plan to do, guys. I don't only want to sell, you know, fruits and cuttings. Eventually, everyone is going to start grafting dragon fruits, and they're going to want to create their own types of varieties. And I want to offer my seeds for people to go ahead and do that. In my membership course, I'm already doing that, where I'm sharing my seeds, where people are now getting these hybrids of mine. They're going to go ahead and grow them out. I'm going to show them how to graft it. And then that way they're going to have one of one variety. No one else is going to have it, because these seeds, once they're grown, it's just going to be a whole brand new variety that no one else has. So that's the really cool thing about growing and grafting seeds, you guys. So what I'm going to do today is just show you guys how I'm going to use this, and how I plan to organize all of my seeds and reduce all of this clunk that I have here. And here is what I was just talking about. So Jurassic Guava here. This is an Asunta 5 crossed with Asunta 4. This is where Jurassic Guava came from. These are the siblings of this cutting here. You guys don't believe it, right? But I actually took these seeds, I grafted, and when you're grafting seeds, they can grow very quick. It takes about 1 year for them to mature and fruit. So they're actually brothers and sisters. So it's really cool. Now that I have all of these containers, it's going to be so awesome for me to go ahead and just store them in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Probably a good way is to have like some type of siphon. So I'm just going to use this paper. I'm going to throw all of the rest of the seeds on there, fold this up, and then go ahead and get that all in there. So let's go. Just like that. I've reduced this container to this container, and look at how much more seeds I can fit in there. So just that alone, I'm so excited and happy about, and I gotta make sure I label it right away so that way I don't forget what it is. So that's really cool that they include all these stickers, and I can just put it right on top of here. I have a Sharpie with me, and I'm gonna label A5 crossed with A4. So Asunta 5 crossed with Asunta 4. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do now. So I know this is A5 crossed with Asunta 4. I should use a pen because this is a little bit too big for it, but I know exactly what that is. I want to put into one of the cell here, and boom, I have seeds inside my seed organizer. I can reduce all of this big clutter of seeds here, and it's just gonna look so cool when I whip this out and then show people my whole hybrid collection. And if anybody in the future wants to grow their own varieties or grow my varieties and graft them, then I can go to these cells, pack them up and send them a few seeds, so that way you can start having some of my own creations in your garden. So that's really cool, right? So, all right, there's one more thing I want to show you guys before we end this video, but I thought I'd share this with you guys because I love to create new hybrids. It's something that I'm always going to be doing, and I love grafting dragon fruit. So this is part of what I do when I grow and graft dragon fruit, you guys. And now I have something to organize it and keep it safe. I can put this in a safe so that way no one can find it, and you know, keep it nice and tidy in this container. And I know exactly where to go to find my seeds instead of finding them all over my house. Okay, guys? Okay. So let's go back to my greenhouse and I'm gonna show you guys the last thing that I got. So the last thing that I got to help me reorganize my garden is this metal rack here that I got on TEMU for about $30. So this rack here usually comes with 3 shelves, but I only need 2 shelves, so that way I can put the larger cuttings down here and my smaller cuttings up here. And if I ever do need my 3rd rack, I can always take it apart and add them, and I can just use it all for small cuttings. So if you guys saw my greenhouse earlier, I already cleared some of the space out, but it was very cluttered and it was a waste of space because I was just using the floor here. I have 1 rack over here on this side already, so might as well get another rack to make it match and also optimize my space, you guys. So that's what I'm doing today. Is the final step of reorganizing my garden and setting me up for the upcoming season is adding this rack to my greenhouse, so that way I can get more cuttings in here and really use the space that I should be using. So this fits perfectly right here, and even if I want to, guys, I can get another rack and add it right here, or even get another bigger rack and upgrade in the future. But I want some space in here so that way I can move around, and I didn't want too clutter of space by just adding too much shelves in here. So this is perfectly fitted right in this corner. So I'm gonna go ahead now and reorganize all of these cuttings back into my greenhouse, and then that will be it for today. So I'm going to start with the largest cuttings to make sure that that height is good enough for even my biggest cutting in there. That's a lot better. As you can see, everything is organized. I freed up all of the space that I've had, all of the clutter right there. And now I can either use that space so then I can actually get in here to tend to all of my cuttings, or add another row of cuttings that I want to put pots in here. But other than that, it's organized. I'm ready for my upcoming season. Once all of these starts to get growing, I can decide what I want to do with them. It's either put them on my website, repot them into their permanent pots, or just have them keep growing out until they're ready for the season. So that's what I had to do all of this time to get myself ready for the upcoming season with all of their organizing, experimenting with a new greenhouse, and now I feel a lot better and now more prepared for my upcoming season. So I hope you guys enjoyed everything I did today. If you guys did, please hit that like button. If you guys have any questions at all, leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. And if you guys have not subscribed to this channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way you guys won't miss a single thing. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Grafting Dragon Fruit. Peace.